Ever wondered why we yawn all day, but dream of changing the world in a major way? It's the Bored and Ambitious Show.
Manhattan, September 4th, 1882. The world is about to change. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Thomas Edison stands in a small brick building on Pearl Street. His hand rests on a switch. Outside, Manhattan runs on gaslight and muscle. Horses pull carriages through unpaved streets. Candles flicker in windows. The sun is humanity's only reliable source of illumination, as it has been for 10,000 years. Edison pulls the switch. Current surges through copper arteries beneath the street. 1 block away, 59 lamps ignite simultaneously at the offices of J.P. Morgan's bank. Then another building, then another. 85 customers, 400 lamps. In a single afternoon, the night itself begins to die. The newspapers can't decide if Edison is a savior or a madman. "The triumph of genius," declares the New York Herald. "A menace to public safety," warns the Tribune. Both are right. Within months, the wires multiply, stretching across rooftops, tangling overhead like black vines. And people start dying. Workers electrocuted on the job. Horses killed by stray current in the streets. Buildings consumed by electrical fires. By 1890, New York has become a forest of deadly copper. Critics call it the white wire, and they want it banned entirely. The miracle, it seems, has teeth. And yet, within 50 years, electricity would reach every home in America. The terror would fade. The wires would disappear, buried underground, hidden in walls, forgotten entirely. The dangerous miracle would become invisible, essential, boring. We've seen this movie before. We know how it ends. And right now, at this very moment, we're watching it again. The technology is different. The pattern is not. Technology transitions follow a script, the same script every time. Phase 1, invention, a spark of genius, Edison's light bulb, Benz's motor wagon, ARPANET's first message crackling across 400 miles of wire. Phase 2, panic. The technology touches the real world, and the world recoils. Electrocution, carnage on roads built for horses, predators hunting through phone lines. Phase 3, adaptation. Society fights back, regulations emerge, infrastructure rises. We reorganize everything, our cities, our laws, our very habits, around what once terrified us. And then, Phase 4, normalization. The technology becomes invisible, essential, boring. You don't think about electricity when you flip a switch. You don't marvel at the automobile in your driveway. The internet is like oxygen, you only notice when it's gone. The telegraph, the telephone, radio, television, the personal computer. Every transformative technology in the past 150 years has followed this arc. Not most of them, not the important ones, every single one. The pattern isn't a theory, it's a record. And AI? AI is writing its chapter right now. The 1890s were years of electrical terror. Every morning, newspapers stacked fresh headlines of death by wire. Workers backed away from humming machines, refusing to touch metal. Thomas Edison, desperate to discredit his rival's alternating current, staged public executions of animals, proving electricity could kill. City councils convened emergency sessions. The question wasn't how to use this power. It was whether to ban it entirely. The New York Herald captured the mood perfectly. This invisible force respects no boundary between life and death. To them, electricity wasn't progress. It was an apocalyptic power humanity had foolishly unleashed. Then, something changed. Not the technology. Us. Standards emerged. Insulation requirements wrapped dangerous copper in protective rubber. Licensing programs trained qualified electricians. Building codes mandated safe installations. Circuit breakers stopped deadly surges before they could kill. The dangerous technology didn't become safe through restriction. It became safe through integration. Society didn't reject electricity. Society learned to live with it. The deaths dropped. The benefits compounded. And within 2 generations, a single human lifetime, no one thought about electricity at all. We simply reached for the switch, and the light came on. The pattern held, and it was about to repeat, on roads that didn't exist yet. September 13th, 1900, Manhattan. Henry Bliss steps off a streetcar into a world that hasn't learned to fear the automobile. He looks the wrong way, toward the horses. The electric taxi strikes him before he turns. The first automobile fatality in the Western Hemisphere. But it won't be the last. These streets were built for a slower world. Drivers have no training, no licenses, no rules. The machine has arrived, and no one knows how to live with it. The numbers climb. 1910, 4,000 dead. 1915, 7,000. 1920, 12,000. By 1925, automobiles kill over 20,000 Americans every single year. Cities ban cars from certain streets. Doctors diagnose a new condition, motor madness, the psychological compulsion to drive recklessly. Parents form safety patrols, human chains of mothers guarding school children from the machines prowling their neighborhoods. The automobile isn't a curiosity anymore. It's a crisis. But here's what didn't happen. We didn't ban the automobile. We didn't retreat to horses. Instead, we adapted. Traffic lights appeared at intersections, speed limits posted on every road, driver's licenses required before anyone touched a wheel, then drunk driving laws, seat belts, airbags, layer after layer of adaptation, built over decades. The car didn't become safe because we made it weaker. It became manageable because we built a world that could contain it. The machine didn't change. We did. And yet, 40,000 Americans still die in car crashes every year. We know this. We accept this. Not because we're callous, but because we've decided the benefits of transportation are worth the cost. That's the uncomfortable truth about transformative technology. We don't eliminate the danger. We decide what danger we can live with. The internet arrived wrapped in prophecy, global connection, democratized knowledge, the end of ignorance itself. Then, reality. Online predators hunting children, identity theft emptying bank accounts, terrorists recruiting in chat rooms. The Columbine shooters found their bomb-making instructions online. Congress didn't debate. Congress panicked. The Communications Decency Act attempted something unprecedented, censoring the entire internet. The courts struck it down, and for nearly a decade, the internet seemed simply ungovernable. Too fast, too borderless, too deeply woven into everything. Parents pulled children from computers. Schools blocked entire categories of knowledge. Pundits declared a generation lost to the machine. The technology appeared to be winning. But then, something shifted. Not a single solution. 1,000 small ones. Platform moderation, end-to-end encryption, digital literacy in classrooms, COPPA protecting children, GDPR protecting privacy, age verification, parental controls, layer upon layer upon layer. The internet didn't become safe. Let's be clear about that. It became integrated. The benefits, instant commerce, global communication, infinite information, proved so overwhelming that society chose adaptation over rejection. Today, a child safely video calls her grandmother across an ocean. The technology that once seemed ungovernable now feels like oxygen. We are here, in the panic phase, the exact position where electricity stood in 1895, where automobiles idled in 1920, where the internet flickered in the year 2000. 4 technologies, 4 moments of collective anxiety, 4 points on parallel timelines that align with mathematical precision. The newspapers change. The fonts modernize. But the headlines? They echo across a century and a half. This technology will destroy jobs. This technology will corrupt our children. This technology is moving too fast to control. We've written these words before. We're writing them again. Right now. The fears are real. AI deceives. It hallucinates with confidence. It automates harm at scale. Deep fakes flood the internet. Regulators scramble. The EU, Washington, Beijing, all racing to write rules for a technology that rewrites itself. Experts disagree. Existential threat or overhyped tool? And everywhere, the same anxious question. Will it take my job? Writer, artist, programmer, lawyer? But look closer at these headlines. You've seen them before. Wearing different clothes, speaking in older fonts. The panic is genuine. It's also ancient. Watch these numbers fall. In 2020, using GPT-3 cost $60 per million tokens, enough text to fill several novels. By 2023, GPT-4 arrived, more powerful, half the price. Then came 2024, and the floor dropped out, $2.50. Today, under $1. What cost $1,000 in AI compute just 4 years ago? Now costs less than 20. This isn't gradual decline. This is free fall. And price is only half the story. GPT-3 couldn't reliably add single digits. It hallucinated facts with absolute confidence. It forgot you existed between messages. Now, these systems pass the bar exam. They write production code that ships. They analyze contracts lawyers once spent weeks reviewing. And image generation. 3 years ago, nightmare fuel, melting faces, hands with 7 fingers. Today, indistinguishable from photography. This is what exponential looks like from the inside. For 50 years, Moore's law was the gold standard of technological progress, transistor density doubling every 2 years. Impressive, predictable, comfortable. AI is moving faster, every 18 to 24 months, roughly 10 times cheaper, roughly 10 times more capable. If this trajectory holds, and no technical barrier has appeared to stop it, by 2030, a teenager with a $20 monthly subscription will command AI capabilities that exceed what entire Fortune 500 companies could access in 2024. Your smartphone already outperforms NASA's moon landing computers. We're about to witness that leap again. The exponential price collapse isn't unique to AI. It's the signature of every transformative technology. Electricity in 1900 cost the equivalent of $1,200 per kilowatt hour. By 1950, under 10 cents. A car in 1908 cost the average American 2 years' salary. By 1925, 3 months' wages. The first commercial computer in 1951 cost $1 million and filled a room. Your smartphone? 1 million times more powerful. $800. Now watch AI's curve. It doesn't just follow the pattern, it accelerates it. What cost $1,000 in 2020 costs $20 today. The math is identical. The timeline is compressed. This isn't unprecedented. It's inevitable. Here's the trap. Every projection about AI's future that assumes current prices and capabilities is wrong. Imagine predicting the automobile's impact in 1910 based solely on the Model T. You'd envision better buggies, faster horses, you'd miss highways, suburbs, global supply chains, drive-thrus, commuter culture. The technology that exists today is not the technology that will reshape society. The technology 5 years from now, 100 times cheaper, 100 times more capable, that's what matters. If the pattern holds, here's what comes first. The obvious harms get addressed. Deep fakes get watermarking requirements. AI-generated content gets labeled. The most dangerous capabilities get restricted. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough. enough to reduce the worst outcomes. This is the insulation phase, the seatbelt phase. Society doesn't eliminate the danger. It learns to contain it. Second, new professions emerge. They always do. Electricity created electricians, utility workers, appliance repair technicians, jobs that didn't exist before the wire. The automobile created mechanics, driving instructors, traffic engineers, highway designers. The internet created web developers, social media managers, cybersecurity specialists, content moderators. Each technology destroyed jobs and then created new ones we couldn't have imagined. AI will do the same. AI trainers, prompt engineers, human-AI collaboration specialists, and jobs we can't yet name because the work they do doesn't exist yet. Third, society reorganizes around the technology. The automobile didn't just replace the horse, it created suburbs, highways, drive-thrus, commuter culture. The internet didn't just send faster letters, it created remote work, digital nomads, online communities, new ways of being together while being apart. AI will create something. New forms of creative collaboration, new approaches to education, new definitions of what expertise even means. We can't predict the specifics, any more than 1890s observers could have predicted the suburb. But the reorganization is coming. It always does. In the best version of this story, AI becomes the great equalizer. The lawyer who could never afford a research assistant now has one that never sleeps. The small business owner competing against corporations suddenly has strategic insight on demand. And in a village in rural India, a student accesses tutoring that rivals the world's elite prep schools. The barriers that once separated those with resources from those without, access to expertise, analysis, opportunity, they don't disappear. But they crack. They crumble. Just as electricity gave everyone light, AI makes expertise abundant rather than scarce. But there's a darker version. In this story, AI concentrates power rather than distributing it. The companies controlling the most capable systems become gatekeepers of capability itself. Job displacement outpaces job creation, leaving a generation stranded. The technology designed to empower becomes a tool for surveillance, manipulation, control. This too has precedence. The same technologies that liberated also enabled monopolies, worker exploitation, authoritarian overreach. Power rarely surrenders itself willingly. History suggests the truth is messier than either extreme. Both futures happen simultaneously. AI will empower and exploit, liberate and control, create jobs and destroy them, just as electricity powers hospitals and electric chairs, just as cars enable family road trips and kill 40,000 Americans every year, just as the internet spreads knowledge and disinformation in equal measure. Transformative technologies are not good or bad. They are powerful, and power gets used for every human purpose, noble and terrible alike. History teaches us something crucial. The choices that shape a technology's future are made in a remarkably brief window. The interstate highway system, designed in just a few years, determined how Americans would live, work, and move for generations. Internet governance frameworks, drafted in the 1990s, still define our digital lives today. That window for AI, it's open right now, and it's already beginning to close. The real questions aren't technical, they're human. Do we treat AI as a public utility, like electricity available to all, or as a private product, controlled by the few? Do we achieve safety through restriction or through integration? Do we distribute this capability widely or concentrate it narrowly? Do we train people to work alongside AI or to compete against it in a race they cannot win? These are not engineering problems. They are moral questions, political questions, questions about what kind of society we want to build. The technology will keep advancing regardless. What we choose to do with it, that's entirely up to us. Here's what the pattern really teaches us. The most important variable was never the technology. It was always us. Electricity could have remained a parlor trick for the wealthy. But farmers organized, demanded power lines reach every rural home, and transformed a luxury into a right. Automobiles could have remained unregulated machines of chaos, but mothers marched, safety advocates pushed, and we chose seat belts over silence. The internet could have stayed an academic curiosity, but visionaries, entrepreneurs, and ordinary people insisted it belonged to everyone. Every technology's trajectory was shaped by human hands. Engineers who built it, citizens who demanded better, leaders who chose wisely or poorly. AI will follow the same path, not because the technology dictates it, because we will. A generation from now, historians will study this moment, the way we study the electrification debates of the 1890s. They'll read our headlines with fascination, our think pieces, our congressional hearings, our breathless warnings about machines that think. They'll wonder how anyone found it controversial. They'll recognize that the fears were partially justified, some dangers were real, some jobs did vanish, some power did concentrate, and they'll know, with the clarity that only hindsight provides, whether the right choices were made or whether they weren't. The technology that seems alien today will seem obvious tomorrow, essential, boring even. The jobs that feel threatened will have transformed into professions we cannot yet name. The society that seems stable will have quietly reorganized in ways that feel inevitable in hindsight. Suburbs after automobiles. Remote work after the internet. Whatever comes after AI. The pattern holds, it always has. Invention, panic, adaptation, normalization. 4 phases, 150 years, every time. Manhattan, 1882. Edison's hand reaches for the switch. 140 years later, a hand hovers over a keyboard. And somewhere right now, a child reaches toward a glowing screen, toward a future she will help build. The same gesture, the same question. What do we do with power? The only question that has ever mattered is whether we navigate the transition wisely or poorly, and that unlike the technology itself is entirely within our control. The pattern.